Good morning, Bruce. Sorry for the delay in getting this video sent over to you. In this video, I am going to show you the 3 things that you can do today to help bring in more customers to your business. Again, my name is Seleni McGregor, and I just work with business owners across the state of Utah. So I put together this quick custom video for you about your online presence and specifically how you stack up against your competition. I'm sure at this point, you're most likely sitting there asking yourself, why would she be doing this and what is the catch here? Well, that is a fair question. What I have found is that most local business owners are just too busy actually running their business. They might be swamped with payroll, helping customers, answering questions, dealing with employees, and honestly just staying on top of jobs that many times learning how to leverage the internet to benefit their company just gets buried underneath all of the other to-dos. And let's be real, half the time, the only reason you may not have hired somebody yet is because you don't know who to trust or know who is truly an expert. So that is exactly why I make videos like this. I have found that by giving people an easy, free attack plan of things that they can actually do to impact their business for free, it has resulted in some of those local business owners still raising their hands and saying, hey, I like you, Seleni. Can you please just handle this for me? So if by the end of this video, you've liked what you've heard and can see that I've got a lot of tricks up my sleeve that can help your business, shoot me a message back and we can chat. Or if at the end of this video, you simply want to take this free attack plan that I give to you and do it yourself, that totally works for me too. Now, let's cover the 3 things that are going to set Bailey Paint Co. above your competition. First would be content, second, citations, and third, backlinks. So first up is content. And first off, I guess before I even jump into that, I was gonna say I love your website. It looks very beautiful. I love the pictures. These custom homes are just dreamy. Pictures are beautiful here. So kind of going into content here on your website. So since Google isn't a human, it doesn't just know what you do. It needs to be told through your content. Content is basically anything that you can see here on your front page that is highlighted. So if I go ahead and see if we can highlight this. So this can be text, it can be your pictures, what your pictures are saved as, what's behind the pictures, all of that can be considered content here. Now to give you an example of what I'm talking about with pictures, if I do like a right click, some of these actually don't let me do it. Let me jump back up. Let's do some of these. Right click, we can save the image as, and we can see what the image is saved as. You can see here it's just a bunch of like letters and numbers. Similarly, over here, kind of same thing. I think I saw kind of the same thing around all of your images. So instead of using this would be a great way to be able to use high volume keywords here and leverage those in your detailed image descriptions. That way it's boosting your content for those areas. Again, all of these things that I had mentioned are what Google bots can read and basically get an idea of what is this business, what services are you offering, what area are you targeting, and that is going to position you here in the search ranking. Now, the goal is having unique and authoritative content, and you need to have enough of it to be able to add in the right keywords and phrases that people are actually searching for in Google in order for somebody to find the services that you offer. Most business owners know that they need content, but what they don't know is that in order to rank number 1 on Google for painting, the average content count is 1,500 to 2,400 words on your homepage. Again, while making sure that it contains the right keywords and phrases that your customers are actually searching for. So when I went ahead and copied all of your content here on your homepage and plugged it into one of my tools, I can see that your homepage is sitting around 509 words here on your homepage. Now, if we jump over into who's ranking currently number 1 here in the St. George area for painting, we've got St. George Painting Pros, and I went ahead and did the same thing. I copied the content that they have here on their homepage and I plugged it into one of my tools, and their website is sitting around over 1,000 words here on their homepage. And so again, this is a great way using the right keywords and phrases so that they are getting found for that. Now, we're actually going to jump over here if I can kind of help explain a little bit more into one of my tools. This is called Ahrefs. Super cool tool. It essentially gives me behind the scene details that Google looks at when it does come to ranking a site. So I can get a really good idea of what's working well for you and for your competition. So I did run the quick scan right here of St. George Painting Pros. I've got their URL plugged in here, and right off the bat, I'm able to see how many keywords their website is being found for and roughly what type of traffic their website is driving every single month to their website. Now, since we're talking about content, we're going to dive in specifically here to the keywords, and we can see what they are getting found for. Now, just so that I can help highlight here, I've got St. George plugged in. Are just highlighted here. Right off the bat, you can see there in this tool is showing the top positions here. This tool sometimes can lag a little bit from Google because Google often changes their rankings pretty often. So anyways, this is showing them in the second position, but when I typed it in, they're actually showing number 1 right now. Again, they're being found for painters in St. George, Utah. That is being searched 100 times every single month. They're in the St. George area. Similarly, painters St. George also being searched 90 times every single month. Painting companies in St. George, Utah being searched 40 times per month. That just kind of gives you an idea of a few of those keywords. We've got St. George painting, which is being searched 120 times every single month. But these are the ones that they are ranking the highest positions for here in the St. George area. Now, what would that do for your company if you guys were able to gain the traffic that's coming in from those searches and be in those top positions? What would that do for your business? Or even just be able to capitalize on a percentage of that traffic of people searching for painters there. Now, similarly, if we jump over into your website, the same tool, again, I've got your URL plugged in right here. I can see that your website is being found for 2 keywords and roughly what type of traffic that is driving every single month. And we can kind of see over time, I can see you've got some paid traffic that you're looking to run some ads, trying to get more leads into your company. So what I'm here to show you with this video will also help you to be able to actually generate those leads that it looks like you're looking for here. So sorry, I diverged a little bit there, but jumping back in, let's take a look specifically at what keywords you're being found for here. So you can see you're being found for Bailey painting, obviously branded, being searched 10 times per month. You're in the 7th position for that though. So you're like bottom of the first page, even for your own brand name there. And then painting companies in St. George, Utah. You are being found for that keyword that is being searched 40 times every single month. But the problem is that you're in the 101st, 101th, I don't know, 101 position here. So you're like on 10th, 11th page of Google there. And so that's the issue, is just you're not showing up when people are actually searching for those main keywords that people are typing in here in the St. George area. And of course, this is not an exhaustive list. This is just simply what your competitor is showing up as, and that they are ranking number 1 currently for these this keyword. So let's go ahead and actually jump over now. Let's jump over to Google here. So I do have one of those high volume keywords, the painters in St. George, Utah, plugged in here. First up, of course, is what we see here is the ads section, which I know you guys have been running some ads. I think I saw your name sponsored up here. Here's the thing with ads. Ads can definitely work. They're a great way to get quick wins. They're typically not as good for long, consistent traffic that way, but they are really good for quick wins. And just be really careful because ads, like I said, can work, but they can also be a money pit if your foundation, like your website's not dialed in, or if customers are using an ad blocker. So just be really careful to not burn through your money on Google Ads until you know for sure that your site is going to convert. I really recommend using Google Ads, especially when you're using it along with like using your other SEO, when you're ranking at the top here and the top here, and then you're even able to capture traffic even at the top here, so that your name showing up in 3 different places really helps you to monopolize that traffic here. But we're not going to spend time on ads. We're actually going to jump down here below that into the coveted map section here. This area has a lot to do with the second important thing that we're going to talk about, which is citations. And you're probably asking yourself, okay, but what is a citation? Why do they matter? Well, great questions. So this is the Google Map Pack. I'm sure you've seen it. You've probably used this section, and maybe you've even thought to yourself, how in the world can I get my business up on here? Well, that's a great question. And so that's what I'm about to show you. So to get yourself to the top 3 here, the number 1 thing that Google looks at is a thing called citations. So what is a citation? Well, it's just your business name, address, and phone number listed on a bunch of online directories like these. Now, the thing is having these citations helps Google to be able to verify you as a business, and then it gives you relevance to your local business. So to push yourself up here in the top 3 spots, you've really got to increase your citation game. When you get more citations than your competitor, especially from authoritative and industry-specific sites, your credibility boosts, you gain more trust from Google, therefore pushing you above your competition. Now, you might be asking yourself, great, but how do I actually do that? Well, we have paid tools like Whitespark or Bright Local that'll tell us exact directories that your competition is listed on here. Then we can go out and match what they're on. But of course, we don't want to just match them. We want to dominate them. What we have seen is that with most painting companies, they're here in the top ranked areas. We usually see them around 100 to 250 citations. So if you're pushed down here below that, maybe a second, third, fourth, fifth page, who knows, you might only be to have 10 to 30 citations. So we not only need to go get those citations that'll match your top competitors, but then we need to beat them out online. Now, let's go ahead and pivot over to the last thing that I wanted to cover with you today, which is backlinks, or often called link juice. This third pillar is really going to help you dominate here on Google. So again, when we search painters in St. George, Utah, we scroll down past the ads, past the map pack, we get down into this area. Now, this is the organics listing section down here. You can see, obviously, your site is not ranked as number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, anywhere here on the first page of Google. Now, this is ideally where we want to be. In fact, ideally we'd like to be in the top 3 spots, because Google statistics have shown that the top 3 businesses here on Google get about 75% of the clicks, meaning that most of your potential customers are choosing one of these first 3 results and are never making it down to your listing. So in order to get here, you have to beat out your competition in every aspect. You need authority. So how do you get authority? Well, again, this is where those backlinks come into play. So a backlink is just when one website links to another website online. And the easiest way to think about it is kind of like a popularity contest back in high school. You want the coolest, most popular kid to be recommending you. So in this popularity contest, the business here with the most relevant link juice or authority wins. And I do say relevant because not all backlinks are created equal. You guys are a painter, right? Well, you wouldn't want to get a backlink from an ice cream shop linking back to you because you don't make ice cream. Although that would be tasty, that backlink would be kind of useless to you. But having a backlink from like a local blog or industry-specific site linking back to you, that would be much more effective. Now let's jump over here into my tool Ahrefs again. Go over to the overview. I can actually see that you guys have 46 backlinks being pointed back to your site. It's not bad. It's actually a great start. It's just not dominant. And here, if I actually jump into your backlinks, I can just see the type of quality that you do have pointing back to your site. These really are not helpful. And in a lot of times, these poor quality sites actually can hurt your website and your ranking and really is not providing the power that you need for your site. Now, if we jump over here specifically, and actually I just want to scroll down real quick and see, it looks like majority of yours, I would say like 95% are these low quality spam links. So really important to focus on better quality here. Now let's jump over to your competition. Again, we've got St. George Painting Pros, excuse me. I can see they've got 63 backlinks being pointed back to their website, and some are from very strong, relevant sources. And again, how do we see these? I can actually jump in. I can see they've got some low quality as well, but I can also see they have some other higher quality too. So we'd want to go match those high quality sites and get those pointed back to your website as well. Again, we just want to focus on getting these strong, relevant sources on here. That way you show Google you are the authority. Again, this is very beatable with time. Getting you here to the top of Google, it is not magic. It's just a tried and true method, and I have shown you that exact method here today. So again, the 3 things that you could do today to grow your online presence is first, focusing on your content here. You've got to get this homepage to at least 1,500 words here on your homepage. And again, using the right keywords and phrases that your customers are actually searching for. That way you get found. Second, citations, just making sure that you get your name, address, and phone number listed on as many of these online directories as possible. That way you're beating out your competition by a landslide. And then lastly, really focusing on your backlinks here. You want to get more quality, relevant sites pointing back to you to show Google that you're the authority. Again, if you do implement these 3 strategies today, you can be number 1 across Google. We would love you to show up in the map pack here, plus down here in the organics listing section. Again, I know how tough the market is, and I know how dependent some businesses might be on third-party companies like Angie's List, and I also know how painful it is to pay for leads that are shared amongst your competitors. The game plan that I went over with you here today, it actually gives you control over your leads and gives you an actionable plan, having clients come straight to your door without a broker in between. So I'm sure you're wondering at this point, okay, well, what now? Well, you really have a few options. First, if you feel like you cannot handle any more clients every month, that is absolutely fair. Just send me a quick note back, telling me you watched the video, tell me your thoughts about it. I would super appreciate your feedback that we had got that commitment for. On the other hand, if you're ready to grow, you can take this blueprint and you can implement these 3 strategies that I went over with you today on your very own. I gave you the exact formula that businesses pay tons of dollars to have, and it is all yours to use to help your company thrive. Now, if you found this information valuable and if you're still one of those business owners to still raise their hands for the most effective route, simply respond to my email and we'll set up a time to chat. Once again, my name is Seleni and I look forward to your email, Bruce. Have a wonderful day.